I say quick, what do I mean by that? How's it going, Francesca? What I mean by that is, um, well, game just fucking crashed. Cool. Um, what I mean by that is, uh, probably like an hour and a half ish. Um, so only being part 5 feels wrong. I know it does feel wrong. I agree. Um, but it is only part 5. Oh no, it should be part 6. Apparently, I never renamed the one before this. My bad. Okay, live. Give me a sec. Good catch. It's like, you're right, it does feel wrong. All right. So you got the fire essence was the last thing we did. First year pass, take me to the access station, a lobby. Change my webcam border? I did not. Well, the webcam is small for some reason. That's the same one. Has it been that way for a while and you're just unobservant? Apparently. All right. I assume I have to go this way to the like tram car. Next train for you. Okay, well, not gonna worry about that. But yeah, I've been using this webcam frame for a couple months now. If you go to Drea to stop an attack from the syndicate, let's hope nothing terrible happens. Fruit. Icy spinner. With the reference, it's fine. Trust me, I'd be scared for my own safety if you did. We need to level up. We are behind for sure. All right. That's new. It's a cool design though. It's a huge beak. Oh, of course. Ooh, nice. Got the 3 hit it. Very good. Seems good. What they do to Toucannon, bro? Toucannon's just cold. It's fine. Oh, bummer. Oh, man. I'm kind of like, how can it feel like my morning has already been like so long and exhausting? It's only almost, not even 11. It's like, goddamn. Never look down. Just decorative boxes, got it. Just trying to destroy some property, clearly. Literally freezing to the point of its peak, icing over. It's just cold. Yeah, and Santa's real. Definitely gonna keep just fight what we can at the moment, just because we are not as comfortably ahead in level as I'd like to be. Illusion Slice. Never misses. That's nice. Should meet at 11 in the morning. It's almost 11 in the morning, yeah. That's just how my work schedule's worked out today. I've got to be in the city this afternoon, and then I'm working at the pizza places tonight, so... nothing to do but walk right into this. Bro was just bored or what? You could have gone back to bed for an extra hour. I also no, I worked this morning too. Like that's the thing, right? So I've already worked today. I have an appointment this morning. I basically went live as soon as I could after getting home and then having something to eat. I should buy more health. What I eat? I had leftover chicken tikka masala. I should buy more health, rich people. Fair. I think we just go. We'll see how it goes. Won't quite two-shot. That's fine. I'm gonna go back and heal after this anyway, so. I lowered my special attack. I didn't realize. Wasn't thinking. Yeah. Oh, and we crit. Let's go. Didn't matter, but it's still nice. This is just healthcare for you guys anyway. More or less. Okay, send out the bird. I just hit the long exaggerated sigh, and I thought you were gonna go crazy, go on a crazy rant. No, that's just being like, well, yeah, you're not wrong. I'm not sure. Well, I've got you here since you're the more regular viewer. Just look at my schedule this week. Because I won't be able to stream on Friday. I already know that. Then tomorrow I should be able to stream in the morning. Assuming nothing about my schedule changes, I should be able to stream in the morning. I should also, at some point soon here, should also, put up a poll for the next thing I'll do on stream. So that we can pretend that I'm not going to spend the rest of my life doing Pokemon Stadium 2. Whoops. Head back down to heal. Assuming that my schedule doesn't change tomorrow, I'll probably go live around 10 my time. Like 4 in the afternoon for you. $72,000. I mean, let's just buy a bunch of these. We'll do this 75% off one, I guess. It's 4 p.m. now. So then I guess 3 p.m. Is it 4 p.m. for you? It's fucking wild. I guess you guys are only 5 hours ahead of us right now. Or 5 hours ahead of me. I hate daylight savings. Right. Yeah, daylight saving sucks. It's super annoying. I guess start here. This is really annoying. Move the clock forward so you can save the sun's energy. It was to save coal. But doesn't make it less annoying, frankly. hits all of them? That's crazy. Crazy, dude. Yeah, it's not, it's outdated now. It's super annoying. Like, there's no good reason to be using it. No daylight savings. Our clocks move forward. How many months have we technically missed over the years? I mean, none? I don't understand your what you're asking. Like, you're not really losing any time. Not in the long run. So, adding together all the hours that we skipped when the clocks went forward, how much time does that total? It totals the same amount that we gained back when we set them back. Oh, fuck. It's a bad matchup. Like, this could just one-shot me. Oh my god. Can't believe it didn't. We're slower now. Fuck. What's the point of setting them forward if we're going to set them back anyway? Okay, so here's how it works. In theory. And this is like, so this is the whole thing, right? In 1914, during World War I, rationing of materials is going on. In order to save coal for power and for heating, the governments of Europe are like, and then eventually the U.S., when the U.S. gets into the war, they're like, we're going to change the hours of the clocks so that people get up in the winter when the sun is up, right? Instead of waking up, you know, trying to wake up in the morning when it's darker, earlier in the morning when it's darker, and then you have to use coal for that. And so you're active during the more during the hours of more sunlight, right? Like that's the idea. And then in the spring, once, you know, daylight gets back to, you know, the sun is up by like 7 every day or whatever, you change it back so that, you know, it's more in line with what like naturally we would want to do. History lesson, yeah. God, that fight is annoying. But that's the whole point, is that like the idea is initially to just save money, or not save money, but save, I guess it would in theory, but is to save on resources. But it was specifically initially for that. And then after that, a bunch of places are like, yo, this kind of makes sense, let's keep it. Other places didn't. And then during the age of like air travel, they're like, okay, this is confusing as fuck because it's not standardized anywhere. Standardize it. So it became more or less standardized. Okay, that makes sense. Why do it 110 years later? It doesn't make any sense to do it 110 years later. We're already doing it. It's a system that's already in place, and it's harder to remove a system than it is to like start it like that. I don't know if it's harder than starting it, but like, you know, there's no real benefit to not doing it. Okay, what the fuck am I gonna do about this guy? My brother in Christ, you're witnessing it. Yeah? Oh, well, apparently I was already slower than you anyway, so who gives a shit? That's a nice crit. No, it doesn't make any sense. There's no point in doing it now. Yeah, like I said, other than the fact that we've already been doing it. That's the only reason we continue to do it. History lessons go crazy. I like history a lot. But yeah, it just doesn't make any fucking sense to do it the way we do it now. I guess there are parts of the world where, like, the saving on fuel for heating and lighting is still relevant in that way. Like, there are plenty of places in the world where, like, you know, they're still lit by kerosene lamps and things like that. So it is a benefit to those parts of the world. What they do to Coco, bro? I'm not dissing. I love history too. I didn't think you were. I didn't. If that's the impression I gave, that's not what I meant to say. It wasn't my intention. Bro's got the zoomies over here. Holy shit. What's going on over here? Little bird. We were watching Hacksaw Ridge. A couple years later, I was in an RA lesson. We had to read an entire chapter on pacifist and war, and DOS wasn't mentioned once. Felt a bit weird. It's because Hacksaw Ridge is just like a fucking. It's not only this, because it is a true story, but like most U.S. like military history shit is like just like fucking patriotism, like fetish shit. People are way too, and like it sells, I get it, but like, you know, I don't know. Shit drives me nuts. They had to lower the number of people you saved because you generally save like 100 people. At least mention, right? Yeah, I don't know what you guys are like going off of, right? But bro's freaking out over there. Like, a lot of military movies, right, are made like with Americans in mind and by Americans, and so they tell American stories. And like, I can imagine someone wanting to like bring attention to like other pacifists during the wars. Was he like a Seventh-day Evangelist? I don't remember. It was broad, just like, should a pacifist be forced to fight in the war, and should a pacifist fight in a non-combat role during the war? Yeah, that's the thing. Literally nobody was mentioned by name. Yeah, fair enough. Why is this thing frozen solid? I haven't been paying attention to like anything that the NPCs have been saying. I'm just like, we're just going. Oh, is everything? Oh, that must have been it. Is that all of his Coromon are frozen? So Master's history tangent over what are we actually doing story wise? No idea. Oh god, I'm fucking frozen now. That's annoying. Like we're collecting like these Titan essences. And we've collected 4 so far. Pretty sure we've collected 4. But otherwise, I'm honestly not entirely sure what we're doing. I'm trying to remember. Yo, could you stop? Oh my god. Do you remember a teacher asking the class, what are some examples of pacifist? One friend, that's not to explain, who hangs to this 42-year-old woman. I kind of wish I'd seen that. That sounds fucking hilarious. Oh my god. God, that sounds funny as fuck. Reminds me of like any of the times that like I tried to get my dad into literally anything that I wanted to do. Not literally anything, that's not quite true. My dad was pretty I wouldn't say he was pretty involved, but he definitely tried. But there's just a lot of stuff my dad just like, Jesus Christ, that hurt a lot. Just did not vibe with my dad, did not understand. So enthusiastically and in incredible detail explaining the poor girl sat next to him. She hit me side in my eyes. It was so great. That's funny. I hit Hunter Rank 100 yesterday in Monster Hunter, so that's fun. It's funny because I'm basically done with like everything that the game currently has to offer, other than just like achievement hunting. See, Aang is a pacifist, but he still fights to subdue people and with his airbending. He fights Sozin. The one time I spoke, I was to correct him on that, so it should be okay. Where the fuck do I go? Okay, dude. Peak school experience. I'll never forget, in like my sociology course, we had a French exchange student, and we were talking about welfare, and I go back and forth on my feelings on welfare. Generally speaking, though, I would say that I'm mostly for what most people consider welfare. But I was basically like, at some point, like, It was basically just like, you know, how long do you expect to support people? I'm like, at some point, you know, there should be a limit. And I'm like, this person was like, basically like, well, what, like, but if you like stop supporting them, they die. I'm like, then they die. Like, you know, like there are certain circumstances and stuff like that, but I'm like, you know, if someone's not making the attempt to be a part of society, my opinion back then especially was just like, it was just like, you know, let that be the end of it. Ironically, that friend was French too. It's funny. Particularly remember, was here on computers, and Ari and another friend went on ChatGPT and starts doing a mommy girlfriend play. At which point, so it shut down. The fuck. I mean, here's the thing, right? Is like, I don't know how different my opinion would be now, because I haven't really thought about it that much. Like, you know, like. At what point are you do you draw the line with people just kind of like freeloading off the system, and what does that even look like? And and I don't have an answer for it, frankly. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Even in sociology, that's the study of, you know, groups of people. It's very like basic type description, but that's how I would describe it in like one phrase. Oh my god. Where the fuck am I even going, dude? I guess I'll fight this dude who keeps running back and forth, and maybe that triggers something. Yeah, English is a study of letters. I mean, you know, it's different, but it also does just like depend on context, right? Like English class in the U.S. is different than, you know, or English class in a country where the primary language is English is going to be different than English in a place where it's not. A lot of places will describe something as like, you know, English literature instead of like English language. But like if you can think of a like a better but still like simple like one phrase way to describe or describe what sociology is. By all means, power to you. Go for it. The fuck are you? Asking you don't know what sociology is? Oh, it's literally like... It's like, do you know what psychology is? Right? It's like the study of, like... It's like psychology, if you're familiar, but instead of one person, or you're looking at individuals, you're looking at, like, whole groups of people. We're looking at societies. It's not really moral ethics, but it kind of like it comes up in the same way that like a lot of morality stuff comes up in different studies in different fields. But generally speaking, I would say no, it's not a moral or ethics course or study field, I guess is a better word. Societal norms and expectations and how people behave in groups. You can think maybe like if you're familiar with the phrase like groupthink. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay, how the hell do you study that in America? What do you... using data taken from various sources of statistics, conducting interviews, past knowledge knows it's not exactly used very often there. What is it in that phrase? Like the study of like groups, or the study of societal norms and expectations, or like I don't understand your question. Sociology? I mean, used is in, I guess, in what context? Like you can study, like you can study something all you want, and like doesn't mean anyone's gonna fucking listen to you, right? This guy's fucking rinsing me. He's KO'd 3 of my Coromon. You could argue it's used in... Actually, I think there's a really good argument to say that it's used here all the time, just not for the benefit of those here. This is getting too thoughtful and intellectual school stories. Oh, God. Before my wife and I started dating, back when we were in high school, she was in a production of The Sound of Music at school that I did not go see. And I straight up said I didn't see it. And she punched me for that. You know, for whatever reason. And as funny as that was, I'm like, you know, like you're gonna punch me, but not our friend Dan, who also didn't see it, but had lied to my wife about, well, he lied to her about whether he had seen it or not. And I'm like, yeah, well, punched him after that. It was very funny though. I'm like, I just like, what the fuck? I didn't do anything wrong. She didn't ask me to go see it. Yeah, that's Dan we're talking about here. All right, cool. So I still know where I'm going. What the fuck? Let's go back and heal, I guess. They continue to try to figure out where the fuck I'm going here. What part was she? She was Maria. So she was the female lead. Like, we weren't together at the time. She didn't ask me to go. I don't know shit I was doing. That was like a few weeks before we started dating. Okay. It's the same Dan. I got like another story with that guy. So he and I had the same PE class. I mean, if you knew, it would have been a courtesy, but if you had no idea, then I get it, especially when you're dating. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I didn't. It's not like I was against going. I was just like, you know, had other things going on. But Dan and I had PE at the same time, and so we had like my school had a pool, so we had swimming, and he and I were talking about how I crack my knuckles a lot, and so when you crack your knuckles underwater, it sounds very different. And he was like, I wonder why I keep doing that. He was like, I wonder why that is. I'm like, that's because water's denser than the air, and so the sound travels faster through the water, so it sounds different. Like all those waves are hitting your ear all at the same time, like in a much more condensed amount of time. Which he didn't believe, which is fine. And though he and I didn't have the same physics class, we did have the same physics teacher. I was like, like after this, let's go to Mr. Galen's. That was the name of my teacher. Let's go to his classroom. It's like right here. Let's ask him. It was basically like, does sound travel faster through a denser material? And is that why it sounds differently if you are listening through that material? And he was like, generally, yes. There are apparently weird circumstances where that's not the case, which is fine. Where the fuck do I go? But I was very proud of that moment. Because Dan was in AP physics, and I was not. But I still, I guess had better insight is probably the word, the phrase. Not that I was smarter or anything. Okay. I'm still trying to go east, I guess. What was my favorite sport in PE? It's a good question. Probably either basketball or American football. Probably one of those two things. Oh. Just the little frozen bit of me bobbing out of the water is really funny. Okay. Was I good at football or basketball? No. I wasn't bad at... oh, is that intentional? Was that on purpose? That's crazy. like that, as in like part of the progression. I wasn't bad at football. I was terrible at basketball. And I've always been terrible at basketball. I was a decent runner for someone who didn't run. Thinking football, but the better one? No, I was not good at association football, aka soccer. I love how I'm like, I wake up in this random town and there's just nobody around to like, oh, hey, you're awake. More stories? Sure. Speaking of running, there's a guy in my PE class in senior year who, he had missed a bunch of, he'd missed a bunch of class because I don't remember how much he'd missed exactly, but he'd missed a good amount, like going and visiting universities to try and like decide where he was going to go to school. But he also was just like not very physically athletic. I guess not athletic. It's redundant. And basically PE was the only class that he was like just not doing well in. And he made a deal with my PE teacher that if he could run an 8.5 minute mile, which you run every, at least in the state of Illinois, you run it once or twice a year throughout high school. If you run an 8.5 minute mile, he'd give him a B because he was like doing really poorly. Thinking more concerned, you wake up in this random town, start pocketing random shit you find in people's homes. That's fair. And he's like, this kid was like, that's impossible. It's not going to happen. I'm like, it's totally possible. I'm like, and like the time, the mile I ran before that was like 6. Was that my 6-minute mile or was that my? No, I think the mile I ran before that was like 5:40-ish. Yeah. So the mile I had run earlier in the year was like, 5 minutes and 40 seconds ish. And he was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to run that. And I had been hoping to like, every time I ran the mile in school, I improved pretty dramatically. But he was like, no, I'm going to fail. I'm like, no, I got you. Like, let's like, I'll set your pace because we're just running laps around the track. Just keep up with me. I'll set like a good steady pace for you that you should be able to maintain, and then you'll get it. And I finished that mile in like I finished at like 8:07, 8:09, something like that, and he finished at like 8:20. Because on the last like 100 meters or so, I was like, all right, now just sprint. Just sprint it out and just finish. Yeah, you did it. Is his name just Jarl? But yeah. I think that was the year also I took a lot of showers in PE. Because I think I had PE last. I think it was the last class I had in the day. So I didn't have to be anywhere right afterwards. So I would just take a shower, and then walk home after that. It's Mr. Jarl to you. It's Mr. Jarl to you. Alright, so I gotta help some people with their random duties. First year attempt to reduce my mother's old family recipe. Exactly the right ingredients. Five sweat shroom, and then surely the stew. Okay. Do I have sweat shrooms? I have mint shrooms. I need 2 sweat shrooms. I have to do that every year. I specifically mean in PE, I took a lot of showers. You know, people did not take a lot. People did not. What's the phrase I'm looking for? People weren't very comfortable taking showers. Is I guess all I'm trying to say. But clearly I was, so I did. Oh, it's carrots. Okay. Favorite teacher and why? I had the same English teacher for in 8th grade and my freshman year of high school, so in 9th grade. I failed 2 quarters of her class in 8th grade. I was a really bad student. And basically she just kind of kicked my ass when I needed somebody to help me get it together. So like after you know I had her for 8th grade English, I had her for freshman English, and she's basically like, when the fuck are you gonna get it together? Like, come on. So she helped me get it together. Interesting. Least favorite? I had my chemistry teacher in my sophomore year of high school. No, my junior year of high school. She went on maternity leave very early in the year. And so we had a student teacher took her place for like the rest of the year, and I fucking hated her. She was such a bitch. Like, oh my god. She fucking. So I have like couple stories about her. So like, I don't know how it is other places, but in my high school, after freshman year, so freshman year was the only time that you would have advisory. So you'd have a dedicated lunch hour. And during that, the first like 15, 20 minutes of that lunch hour, you would go to wherever your advisory room was. And you'd talk to your advisors. And you'd talk to, like, that whatever teacher was your advisor. And, you'd get news and stuff like that. Help answer questions. And I think that was only for like the first semester maybe, but I don't remember. And sometimes they needed to do advisories by grade. So they'd have they'd say like, all right, today is freshman advisory day, or something like that. All the freshmen, when you would go to your normal advisory, come to the auditorium instead. And then they'd sit there and they'd do like big announcements and stuff that way. After freshman year though, so if you're, actually, no, that can't be quite how it worked. No, I think that is how it worked for the first semester, and then the second semester you didn't have any advisories. But what happened after that is, from your second semester of your freshman year onward, through senior year, right? If there was an advisory for, if they had to have like an assembly or whatever for your grade, they would pick a subject, that everyone would have to take, right? So math or something like that. And they're like, all right, during your math class, come to the auditorium and you'll do an advisory. Like, we'll have the advisory during that period. You just won't have class then. I took sciences out of order. So I normally, if you took chemistry at my school, you took it as a sophomore. I took it as a junior. And when that happens, when an advisory would happen in a class where where the class is like split in terms of grades, almost always what happens is, like if it was a junior advisory and I was in chemistry, I would show up to the class, be like, hey, I have junior advisory, and then I would leave. But if it was like but if it was for like the sophomores in that chemistry class, which is like, 25 out of like the 28 students were sophomores. Almost always, and this is the only time that it didn't happen that way. Most of the teachers getting pregnant anyway. Gotta have kids at some point if you want kids. So like if it was like a sophomore advisory in a class with almost all sophomores, but like a couple of juniors or a couple of freshmen or whatever, what they would do is basically, they'd say, all right, juniors, show up just for a moment, just so that they know you're here, that you're on campus at least, and then you have a free period for the rest of the period. But this fucking teacher, she was like, hey, I know this is normally how it works. We're not going to do that. Cool. There you go. Oh, he's giving me a perfect Coromon. Tell me which one of these I should get, Francesca. Talking about the fun of public education, eh? Hey, man. I was talking about how advisories worked in high school, and this bitch of a teacher I had. Togi catching your eye? All right. And so this chemistry teacher, she was like, I know you would normally have the period off. Instead, you're going to go to the library and study. And I'm like, God damn it. So I didn't go to the library to study. And I hung out in like the junior lounge, which was really just a handful of tables in a different part of the school from like separate from the cafeteria. And this bitch fucking walked around trying to look for everybody. And I'm like, God damn it. I was so mad. She also was like, she wanted me, if you got stuff wrong in on a test or something, she would like want you to like do corrections when you got stuff wrong on a test or a quiz or whatever. And I'm like, and I remember getting in an argument with her because she was like, do these corrections. I'm like, I got 2 questions wrong and they were true false questions. Like, what the fuck do you want me to do about this? And she's like, do the corrections. I'm like, it's true or false. Like, I just got it wrong. Like, there's no work to show. I don't know what explanation needs to happen. I fucking hated that class so much. True, false, yes. That's so annoying. I'm supposed to find carrots. Yo, let's go. Just put exclamation mark true, and then you're technically not wrong no matter what. New hat, who this? There's a master sword and a Lionel head hanging on the wall. Yep. Got another coupon. God, that sneeze kind of hurt, which is funny and also weird. Okay. Okay, farms. Sweat room. What about you, Cheese? Who's your least favorite teacher? I didn't like freshman math teacher. It's just because you would get mad at me for not doing my homework. Fair enough. Okay. Damn, any teachers I actively dislike. Yeah, most of the teachers I had I felt pretty neutral on, or like vaguely positive about. There were only a handful of teachers where I was like really that I like really liked or disliked. Majority of history teachers are goated by one who babied us in terms of dumbing everything down. Also yelled at us when we didn't understand stuff. Favored bad students over good. Fortunate privilege to be in a good school system, though. It's probably more a result of that. Yeah, I mean, it helps when the teachers are paid decently well, right? Alright, just stealing a fucking carrot, sure. Grab some fruit. That I forgot we're here. Sophomore English teacher, I struggled with it. She came off very relaxed, loose, but then graded very meticulously. I'm just trying to think of stories now. Threw you for a loop. Yeah, I get that. Kevin, you didn't have Mr. Ski, right? You had Roselia was the other name? The name of the other teacher, I think. Mr. Ski? Mr. Skabisky? As opposed to Ms. Roselia. Your 4th grade teacher. Yeah, you did, Mr. Ski. Okay. His class is great. It's free candy. Loved your high school English teacher, but one thing I wish she told me how I could have improved my Jekyll and Hyde essay a year after we finished it. That's funny. Both brothers did too. Younger had him. Years tried. He was awesome. Yeah, I showed up every now and then just to like visit with them, and there was one day after school I showed up, and he was doing his like the mini courses afterwards, and he was doing the chocolate food of the gods course, and he was like, yeah, sit down. I was like, all right, cool. He's a great guy. Such memories, huh, fellas. I had for junior English, I really liked my English teacher, and he I think this is the next place I gotta stop. He, first day of class, right? Calls people's names. Is this the right way to go? I mean, it's not the wrong way to go, I guess. But first day of class, calling people's names is like, if you prefer to be called something else, let me know. Calls my name. I'm like, hey, I prefer to be called Jack. And he's like, Jack, huh? I'm like, yeah, Jack. And he's like, it's weird. You feel like a Tony to me. And I'm like, well, I prefer Jack. And for the rest of the year, he proceeded to pretty frequently call me Tony. Like, seemed to genuinely forget that I was that there was a student in his class that went by Jack. And it was very funny. He had a lot of good laughs about it. And God damn it. But there were times where he's like, we would be like be reciting lines from like Macbeth or something, and he would like toss a tennis ball to you to like have you say the line or say the next line or something. And looking for red ones. And like he tossed the ball to me and be like, he'd call your name, and he'd toss the ball to me and just be like Tony, and I'd just like it's not my name. Just like toss it back to him. And he's like, Jack, I'm sorry. He went on the whole fucking year. It didn't help that eventually like I started to God damn it, I wanted that one. That like I would mess with him, and like some of my like papers and stuff, I would sign my name Tony just for the laugh. It was really good. Not that he noticed until he would go to hand the papers back or something, and be like, who's Tony? I'm like, yeah, God damn it. Just crazy with a tennis ball. It would be funny. How's it going, Patrick? But a couple years later, one of my sisters had him, and same thing. Day one is like calling people's names. She calls her name. She raises her hand. She goes by her name, so it's whatever. And he's like, says my last name a couple times. Says our last name a couple times, and he's like, "Do you have a brother?" And she's like, "Yeah, he goes by Jack." And he's like, No, that's not it. And she's like, "You called him Tony?" And he just fucking lost it laughing. Because it's funny that like he still just did not remember who the fuck I was, or could not associate my name properly. Physics teacher is so no nonsense, but in the sense that we got shit done, understood it, had fun with it. Point we got competitive marble racing for an hour. Got way too heated. Imagine you met Tony and said, you seem like a Jack. Sounds like teachers have done. Yeah, my physics teacher, he had a rule basically that was just like, what the fuck am I looking for in here? Sorry. A blobby. But like, yeah, so my physics teacher was pretty cool. And he was like, his thing was like, your homework, I don't count your homework for a grade, but if you do all the homework in a section, I'll let you retake the quiz. Because he's like, you put the effort in to learn the content. Like, if you didn't do well on the quiz, it's almost certainly just because there was like you had a misunderstanding about something somewhere, and we can clear that up, and then I'll let you retake it. Cool. Like, I'm about that. Whatever. That did say that he could find them here, right? All right, hold up. I'm not losing my mind here, right? Anyway, that means that I never did homework in that class. And in addition to basically never doing homework in that class, I didn't do homework in that class, but I did do pretty much every opportunity for extra credit that was available to me. What the fuck am I looking for here? Yeah, it's crazy rule. Yeah. I guess down here. I don't know where I'm going for this shit. But I keep forgetting. I keep losing my train of thought. I did almost all the opportunities for extra credit that were made available to me, and at the end of our senior year, or well, at the end of not at the end of the senior year, at the end, it was my senior year, but at the end of the year, there's like usually a big physics project, and you spend a lot of time working on it, that kind of thing. It accounts for like 20% of your overall grade or something like that, or like 10%, a good chunk of your grade, right? And I had finished the quarter before that, and like that, I had finished the quarter before that with over 100% in that class, and I finished with over 100% in that class. And so I went and I did the math, and I'm like, okay, so if let's say I fail the final, so I get like a flat 50% on the final, and I just don't do this assignment, I will still get an A in this class. So I just didn't do it, which I thought was fucking hilarious. Because they spent a bunch of time in class, like they set out a bunch of time in class for us to work on it, and I played the whole time. I played fucking Soul Silver the whole fucking time. It's all I did. And the day to present comes up, and like, or the day I was assigned to present, calls my name, and I'm like, I didn't do it. And like, he knows, right? Like, it's not like he hasn't seen me do nothing for 2 weeks in this class, right? Doesn't skip a beat, just calls the next name. And the kids in my class were like, yo, wait, what the fuck? What do you mean you didn't do it? I'm like, I didn't do it. And they're like, but what about your grade? I'm like, I have such a high grade in this class, I can afford to not do it and still fail the final and get a B and get an A for the semester. Like that is how well I have done in this class. And I'm like, so I didn't do it. So like, why would I bother? And that just fucking blew their goddamn minds. They could not seemingly like wrap their head around that. It was very funny. Looking for Blobby? Yes, I am, Patrick. I would appreciate assistance. There's also a funny story of like, there's like the seniors, there's like I think it was just called Grandparents' Day, where like you could, you know, have one of your grandparents like come to school and like go from class to class with you. And I had a test that day in his class. And so I walk in with my grandma at the time, who was like, I think she was like 73, 74, something like that. And he's like, oh, I forgot you were a senior. And he's like, do you want to take the test a different time? And you can just kind of have a free period with earlier floors. Thank you. You can just have like a free period. I'm like, I would rather just take the quiz or take the test or whatever right now. He's like, okay. I'm like, you can talk with my grandma. Like, so he talked to my grandma for like the 15 minutes it took me to take the test or whatever. And it was just, I thought that was super funny. Not gonna lie, it was cold. Me not doing the exam. I love when I'm looking for fights, they don't show up. Oh, you know what? I got the wrong drip, that's why. Hold up. Alright, now we're gaming. But I feel like I had one more story that involved him. He was a cool teacher. I liked him a lot. Trying to think of other stories. That's not a blobby. How high a grade could I possibly have had to not do an assignment and fail the final to get an A? Proclaim the stables for extra credit. So, most of the kids in my physics class were fucking stupid. Like, there's only one part of that class that I struggled with at all, and it was the section that we did on like force, and it's because it was mostly math and I didn't do the homework, and if you don't do math homework, like, you just don't understand the concepts well. And I still got out of that test with like a B, I think. But to answer the question of like how high of a grade could I possibly have had for like that third semester, or for that third quarter, so like the first half of that semester, I had a grade of like almost 110%, almost. And then that second semester, the project excluded, I had a grade of like 105, 106%, something like that. So the beverage, yeah. Yo, Blobby, come on. Throw me a fucking bone here, dude. Below 2, it's common according to the internet. Thank you, sir. Let's go. Strictly Cheese is playing Monster Hunter Wilds. Not below 3, you fucking idiot. I gotta find this in the next like 10 minutes, because then I gotta call stream because I gotta go to work. You're not Blobby. Didn't want to disrupt the stream though. Yeah, take me on stream on that. No, I gotta work. I gotta drive into the city in like 15 minutes. And then when I get home, I'll have like an hour before I need to leave for my shift tonight. Hope traffic isn't too bad. It probably will be fine. I was watching someone talk about or listening to someone talk about like basically ranking the monsters in Monster Hunter Wilds on a tier list. And the video is like 2.5 hours long, and I'm only like 20 minutes into it, so I'll just put that on while I drive. This was a fun story time stream with Coromon in the background. Yeah, I had a couple moments where I'm like I can talk and fucking move up and down on the controller, or like, you know, at least navigate to where I need to go. Fucking finally, holy shit. Yeah. Let me know what the weapon meta is. I could never tell you. I'm not going to look. Grinding temp arc field is okay, but could be better. Yeah, I can imagine that being annoying to a certain extent. Where do you play? Are you rocking hammer right now, Cheese? Yeah, I didn't realize I could scroll over on hammer upgrades, so I've been using non-final gear for a while. That not quite what you want to be doing, for sure. Whoops. A little extra sharpness does, yeah. It's one of the interesting things for me with Monster Hunter Wilds is and I don't know why I didn't do this much before, but the last time I was playing Charge Blade, I gotta find this thing now. There it is. Like for whatever reason, like I was super against like blocking or something like that. I don't remember why it is necessarily that I felt that way, but I just didn't like blocking. And I'm like, I feel like this game has done a fairly good job of like encouraging me to actually like use my shield, which is crazy. Alright, so I have a non-conflicting schedule. I should be free tomorrow. Oh, zooming. Yo, got a chef's hat. Let's go. Alright, dude, chill out. Here's your carrot. Oops. Wait, so do I just have a jacket now? Oh, I do. I just have like a winter outfit. Nah, that's fine. Cat ears, man. God. Fuck. I thought it was one of the quests to like that I would have to do to progress, but apparently not. Okay. Arkfeld, I don't have a terrible time with. I was talking about blocking. It's like I don't have a terrible time blocking or like with Arkfeld because I've just started blocking more, which, duh. But like, and so like, it's been not that. It's actually been not too terrible. Though the one that the stuff that always gets me right now is like, oh, don't tell me that I'm gonna have to do shit. Got down the Jarl's talking. Hide your kids, hide your wives. But yeah, Arkfeld's not the thing that's been giving me trouble. It's Gormagala. Tempered Gormagala has been kicking my ass. I'm serious, all for it, yeah. Because the Gormagala thing is like, sometimes Gormagala can be hard to like get on top of, And when you're like hit with the fucking frenzy virus, right? If you can't clear it in time, you just take a shitload of damage. And so just like I tried to look for it the other day, but for whatever reason I just couldn't find it. But there's I think there's a clip of me and literally everyone on this hunt getting one shot by Gormagala because we all had the frenzy virus and we just couldn't shake it. It was super funny. Okay. Completed all the optional quests. As far as I'm aware, there's an event quest going on right now too, if you didn't see, for Tempered Chetacabra a bunch. And it gives armor spheres as rewards. So, good idea to try and get some of that done. Oh, I haven't finished all the optional quests. No, actually, now that I think about it. I've finished a lot of them, but I have not finished all of them. I spent a lot of time lately just jumping into like joining SOS missions and helping people complete those, because I'm like, that's as good a thing as any. And otherwise just been... what's it called? Been just slowly working towards like getting every charge blade and that kind of thing. Now, let's go Blaze Tower. I think I got like I don't know how many optional quests there are. There's a lot. I think I'm done with all the low rank optional quests, and I've got like 15 or something like that of the high rank ones to go. Something like that. But hit HR 100 yesterday, so that's cool. I'm enjoying it. A couple weeks, or I guess 3 weeks, the first title update will come out. I love, by the way, so like, to a certain extent, I don't blame people. But people are like, you know, like there's the thing for the title update 1, has Mizutune there. And then title update 2, it's like Mystery Monster. And a bunch of people are like, yo, the symbol that they used as the stand-in for the Mystery Monster looks looks like it could be like Lagiacrus. And I'm like, okay, it could be that. But also, that's just the symbol for, like, unknown monster. Like, if you start a new save and you go out into a map and there's a monster that you haven't seen yet, that's the symbol on the map. Like, you don't, it's nothing crazy. But I just find it very funny. I'm pretty sure I saved. But, oops. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. I gotta get going, because, you know, work. Yeah, I will, I'll be streaming tomorrow morning, asterisk, assuming nothing gets put on my calendar at the last second, and then, no stream on Friday for sure. I was just way too busy on Friday, so, but yeah, geez, let me know if you want to hunt later, either tonight or, well, not tonight, tomorrow. I mean, it could be really late tonight after my shift, but I don't think that's your vibe. Anyway, or anyone else, if they want to play Monster Hunter, let me know. So have a good one, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Thank you.